Explaining Deathloop simply as two assassins stuck in a time loop manages to both answer and ask a lot of questions at the same time. Have no fear, because I got to see Deathloop in action recently and I've got the answers. Here's everything you need to know about Arkane's latest. For more, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Okay, one of the two assassins is Colt and the other is Julianna. Colt is trapped on a mysterious island and tasked with killing 8 targets to break the time loop that he's trapped in. You can play as Julianna online, invading other people's games so that you can keep the loop going. If you fear your chances against a real opponent, you can opt for Julianna to be AI controlled. Colt and Julianna are the cat and mouse chase at the core of the game, but there's a lot more history to their relationship than Colt can remember, and that unfurls throughout. It's reminiscent of Hades, a roguelike that would tell its story upon repeated loops. The conversations between the two never repeat either, because both Colt and Julianna are aware of the time loop, unlike the other inhabitants of the island of Blackreef. When you're playing as Colt, sometimes Julianna will radio you to comment on a kill that you've just made, or if you've maybe run away from a fight, she'll radio you just to call you a coward. This time loop takes place across one in-game day, but if you're worrying that you'll be rushing against a timer to get everything done, have no fear. You can tackle everything at your own pace. Death also doesn't even mean the end of a loop. One of the powers we saw in action gave you 3 redos per loop. So if you died, you could return to the encounter, find and collect things from your body, and try again. If you die a 3rd time though, that loop is finished. You also won't be starting completely from scratch each time you start a new loop. There's a resource in the game called Residium that helps you hang on to your powers and weapons across loops. So not only will you restart with an arsenal, you'll also have more of Deathloop's most important resource: knowledge. The game takes place on a mysterious island called Blackreef and is inhabited by your 8 targets and a band of cult-like followers called Eternalists. The island is split into 4 districts, and each district can be visited at one of 4 times during the day, and they change significantly throughout the course of the day. You might be able to unlock a shortcut only at night, or maybe a visionary will pass through but only at a certain time. According to game director Dinga Bakaba, the game starts by introducing you to each district, then moving you to another until you've visited all 4. Then you can choose which to go to and at what time of day. Once you decide to leave, time moves on when you get to the next one. If you go to a specific district at a specific time to do a puzzle or maybe follow a certain subquest and fail it, you can just leap right back into that area and time period to try again. In a way, Deathloop lets you make lots of mini loops. You don't just have to keep doing the big one, if that makes sense. By visiting these locations over and over, you not only get the lay of the land and obtain key items like keys and door codes, but you can build a plan to take out your targets as efficiently as possible. Like all of Arkane's games, the setting and the world tell a lot of the story. The island of Blackreef is an alternate reality loosely based on a 1960s aesthetic. Art director Sébastien Mitton said that they settled on that era because of the carefree nature people had at the time. Despite the anxieties of the Cold War, people wanted to party forever, and so that filtered throughout the game, informing the look of the gadgets and weapons as well as the music. The visionaries who live on the island are a group of artists and scientists who just want to live forever. One mission we saw was reminiscent of Dishonored's excellent Lady Boyle's Last Party. In it, you're tasked with killing Lady Boyle at her own masked ball, but the problem is everyone is wearing masks, and her sisters are there too. In Deathloop, one of the visionaries is called Alexis, who you've seen in trailers as the one wearing a wolf mask. Similarly, you need to uncover his identity before you can attempt to take him out. Not every visionary encounter is going to be like that, but they will move around and there are multiple ways you can take them out. And boy, are there ways to take them out. There are obviously many types of guns to use because you're an assassin. Interestingly though, there's no money in Deathloop. Ammo machines distribute bullets freely because if you're at a never-ending party utopia, why would you need money? If, like me, you loved the powers from Dishonored, then you'll have plenty to play with here. Some may look familiar. Shift is similar to Blink or Far Reach, Carnesis is similar to Wind Blast, and Nexus works in a very similar way to Domino from Dishonored 2. I mentioned Reprise earlier, which gives you these extra redos, but there's also Ether, which makes you invisible. Now seriously, Arkane, where was that one in Dishonored? These powers use mana, but you can use trinkets to increase your maximum amount. Trinkets are slottable items that can also give you little perks like dealing more damage or a cool double jump. If you play Dishonored and you're familiar with bone charms, it's something similar. When you kill an enemy, whether by power, gun, or simply kicking them off a ledge, their body doesn't lie around just waiting to give you away, it kind of disintegrates. So while I'm not sure just yet if there's going to be an incentive to do a clean hands or ghost run like in Dishonored, I wouldn't be surprised. When it comes to multiplayer, it's woven into the campaign. Arkane's approach to designing it is that they want to incentivize creative play, and hopefully the mode will be seen as something of an anecdote generator, according to Dinga. As Julianna, you can invade random games or your friends, and the game gives you a list of feats to accomplish. Doing so gives you points, which you can then use to unlock new powers, trinkets, or weapons. These unlock randomly, so you'll get different loadouts every time you play. By playing the multiplayer component, you can unlock new appearances for Colt and Julianna. So the incentivization there is obviously the costumes you'll unlock and the high scores, but Arkane genuinely seem very excited to just see the clips and hear the stories of how players are going to be interacting online. One final thing to note about Deathloop is that it is genuinely very, very funny. So typically in Arkane games, the humor would come from all of these gameplay systems interacting, whereas in Deathloop, they have made a real effort to have the voiced characters be really genuinely quite funny. I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't like watching you die. I like killing you. There's a difference.
So to sum up, Deathloop is some parts a natural evolution of past Arkane games and something else altogether. It's a PS5 exclusive for a while and we'll have more on it throughout the year, so make sure to like this video and subscribe. Check out tomorrow's preview on GameSpot.com for more from Dinga and Sebastian, and we'll catch you in the next loop. Bye!